With our first guest, Michael Eck is with us. He's the Broadway tour and theater liaison for Proctors, and we're going to find out about Warhorse.
Warhorse.
What is that about, and what are these puppets?
What's with all the animals on the show? Terry Conroy was on recently with her llamas, and now I'm bringing you a warhorse.
You're bringing me a... Well, I
So
don't see... Are they coming in right now?
No. You have to come see the show if you want to see the Warhorse.
Oh, yes.
Warhorse is a pretty amazing show. It's a wonderful play that was developed in England by the National Theatre, based on a book from 1982 by a gentleman named Michael Morpurgo.
Was it based on anything real or a story?
Well, Morpurgo is a popular children's writer in England, but this particular book was not his most popular book. What happened was he was spending some time in an English pub. That's what they do in England.
I know, and I've been there. They're great.
In Devon, and he overheard some soldiers from World War I, some elderly gentlemen, talking about their experiences in the cavalry and their experiences with the horses. And it got him thinking about that experience, and eventually he decided to write a tale of war, the futility of war, using the horse as the main character and narrator. Many years later, Tom Morris, who was one of the co-directors of the show, one of the co-creators with the National Theatre, his mom came to him and said, "Tom, you've got to read this book." One thing led to another. They got in touch with Morpurgo, decided to make it into a play. Morpurgo at first was a little concerned about the idea of using puppets, but then they showed him some of the work by Handspring Puppet Company.
Incredible. We're going to be showing some of that on the show.
We will be. It's just magnificent. We might even want to take a look at some of that right now so you can get a feeling
right now
of what Joey's all about.
Because I was there in the audience when they were telling us about the Warhorse, and it was an incredible to see those horses coming on. I don't know if that's coming up now, but...
Joey is a life-size puppet of a horse that's operated by 3 puppeteers, 2 inside the body and one outside leading from the head.
There it is, right there. And it looks like a horse.
It's incredible.
When you're looking at it, you almost have... Oh, we got somebody's head in the way. You have to suspend all belief that it's not a horse. I mean, because it moves like a horse. It looks like a horse. It whinnies like a horse. Oh my goodness.
Now these scenes you're looking at are from the Proctors Bash when we told subscribers about the show back in February, not from the actual show itself. In the show itself there's actually battle scenes with a number of these horses. The 3 puppeteers actually create all the sounds of the horse spontaneously while they're within the puppet. I had the great good luck earlier in the year, in June, to go out to Minneapolis to see the opening of the tour and see an event where Joey met real live horses. And the horses actually accepted him as one of their own. That's how realistic this is.
Oh my God.
But the beautiful magic of the show, it was called a landmark theater event by Time Magazine. The beautiful magic is that there's no electronics involved in these puppets, so they're super high tech, but they're very old school at the same time. Puppetry is one of the oldest forms of theater we have. So it's people physically manipulating the puppets.
It's not puppets like, you talk about hand puppets
these are people
or marionettes.
Inside.
These are people inside. And you can actually, if you really kind of get yourself out of the story, which you can't do, you can see that there are people there. But when you're watching it and thinking they're horses, they are horses.
That's the magic of it. And I defy you to come to the show and within the first 5 minutes not forget that you're looking at, quote, puppets. And the story is incredibly moving. The story is about Joey. Joey is the warhorse that we just saw. And he is conscripted by the English army to go overseas in the war. And Albert, his young owner, is too young to go into the war. He runs away to join the war to find his horse. And the story is the tale of him trying to find Joey and the experiences Joey goes through. It's pretty gripping. There's some very tense moments, and it's very uplifting at the end.
Now,
it's kind of an incredible experience.
Well, it was voted the best play, I guess, I forgot what year it was, but, on Broadway. It's not a musical.
It's not, but it's a play with music. There's a character called the Singer, who comes out at various times during the show and sings the tale of what's happening. In theater, we use the word exposition. He provides some exposition. He sort of tells us what else happened in the meantime between these scenes.
Ah, okay, so he carries the story.
Right, and it adds a beautiful element of this sort of English folk balladry to the show.
Well, it's interesting when you were talking about the puppets and not being high tech. The first show that opened here was Ghost, which was all high tech. It was like the most high tech show I have ever seen, probably ever produced. And now you've come up with this wonderfully
Right.
gentle story.
Yeah, and the high-tech aspect of the puppetry is in the creation of it,
creation
so that it
of it.
works so fluidly. And then the old-fashioned theater magic is the way they operate. And like you said, you lose sense that these are puppets. You just become incredibly drawn into the story.
Well, I know. I just saw that little bit at the Bash, and it was like, OMG. It
Yeah.
is so incredible.
I'm going to give you a Warhorse pin that you can wear.
Oh,
It's
good.
got a
Good.
little
I'm
picture
putting
of
on
Joey
right now. I
right
love
on there.
horses, so
now,
I'm
we've
put-
also got some other things happening with Proctors associated with this. One of the things we've done that we're super, super thrilled with is we've teamed up with Saratoga Warhorse,
I saw that.
which is an organization based, not surprisingly, in Saratoga. And they use retired thoroughbred horses as therapy to help veterans who are having a real issue. Some are suicidal. Some are just having
Post-traumatic stress
post-traumatic
syndrome.
stress. Some are having family problems, problems keeping a job. They come to Saratoga Warhorse, they interact with the horses, and as a result of that, they're able to be more open with people, and they're truly changing lives. We partnered with them. We made a donation from ticket sales to them. We're very excited about that, and some of their veterans will be coming down to see the show.
Are you going to do a theater talk? Sometimes you do that.
We will have a theater talk on Thursday.
Thursday is after
Yep.
the show, is that
After
correct?
the matinee, correct.
Okay, so
we always
and-
have the Henry Schaefer theater talks. They happen after the Thursday matinee.
And that's where you can actually ask the questions that even if you saw it, you're going to see it on Friday, you can still come on Thursday and maybe.
Now, I can't guarantee this because things change during the course of the run, but I believe our speaker for Theater Talk will be Matthew Lerner, who's the assistant company manager from Albany, New York, and he's been
Great.
going all around the country
Oh,
with the
how
show.
wonderful. So we
Yeah.
have a local guy doing
Yep.
this. That's wonderful, even though he's the big honcho, right?
Yep.
Good.
And also, I just want to quick
Sure.
throw in.
We
have
need to
a-
tell him when it is, so be sure to
it's,
tell him.
It's this Wednesday through Sunday, the
Dates?
15th through the 19th.
Okay.
We've got 8 shows. Even though it's starting on a Wednesday, we've still got 8 shows. We've added an extra show on
You've
Sunday.
got a Sunday matinee, a Saturday
Sunday
matinee, and a
evening.
Thursday matinee.
Absolutely.
Right, good.
And then also running the same days, the 15th through the 19th, upstairs in the Fenimore Gallery, we have a great show called Separation and Strength. And that's featuring students from 8 local school districts made art related to Warhorse on the theme of how separation can sometimes actually bring us together and make us stronger, which is the theme of the show.
That's true.
And that's open during the before show time. People can go up and see that, and there's no charge for that.
Well, you'll want to check this out because it's an experience that you probably will not see unless you go to New York City. I think it's still playing in New York City, so isn't it?
No, it's on tour now.
It's only on
so,
tour.
yeah.
Oh, well then you've got to come and see it because you can't see it in New York City.
Right now, we're the only place you can see
The
it.
only place in the United States to see it is going to be right here at Proctors. So be sure to get your tickets. And they have tickets starting at $20.
It's starting
they
at
are
20.
what they call the Cloud Club, but they
Yep.
aren't all in the cloud. But
Nope.
anyway, it's a way for you to get involved with theater at a low price. But if you want one of the better seats, it's maybe a little bit higher. But
Yep,
anyway,
a little bit.
you want to check it out. Thank you so much, Michael, for
Thank
being
you,
here.
Ann, for all you do.
Warhorse is going to be on starting on Wednesday, the 15th,
Yep.
and running through Sunday with 8 performances. So you'll be able to get into one of them, I'm sure. Although I noticed the tickets are being sold pretty fast.
It's
so
a pretty popular show.
pretty
and we're very
popular
excited
show.
about how many people
And if
are
you
gonna get
love
to see it.
horses, you've got to see this show. It's wonderful. Thank you so much, Michael,
Thank
for
you,
being
Ann.
here. We're going to take a quick break, and all our breaks today are going to be Warhorse, so you'll be able to see all of the things that we saw at the Bash. Our next guest coming up is Angelo Santa Barbara. Please stay tuned.
Good boy, Joey. Stop it. You good boy. No, I don't have anything for you. Stop it. Good boy. All right, Kate, would you like to come over and feed him a sugar cube? All right, come on over here. Stand right here. Just hold the hand out and let him come see you.